And we're back. All right, all right, all right. Recording.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. My wisdom teeth still hurt. Same day, same pain, but
We're doing something fun. We're doing some Am I the Asshole reads.
Yes. We're doing Am I the Asshole reads, and those are our personal favorite episodes because we get to sit back and, for me, I get to sit back and enjoy and just react, and then
I get to talk a little shit.
Yeah, talk a little shit. So yeah, I forgot to post on the Instagram. I'm sorry, you guys. So I like to get stories from our Instagram followers, but my bad.
Also, my bad for being inactive on Instagram and forgetting about stories unless it's release day.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm sorry, too. Like, on TikTok, I think our latest video, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because we said a cuss word, but it got, 2 views in 24 hours, and I was like, okay.
I wonder if it was I've noticed whenever videos use bad words, they will censor it in the captions or in the subtitles. Instead of the F word, they'll say fluffing, when they type it out.
Yeah, maybe I should do that.
Maybe. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so random anyway. It's selectively enforced because plenty of videos blow up with cuss words in them.
I know. I may take it down and repost it, but it was the worms one. It was such a good one. The Never Have I Ever episode was chaotically good. It was so good.
Yes, I would honestly love to know what y'all thought of that episode, because I got real about how real fucking wild my life is when it comes to food.
And I loved it. I loved every second of it, except for the section we already talked about that I was like, that's not a vibe. Yep. But, alright, let's get started. We're gonna dive on in. Woo-woo. And I like keeping the train. I'm like the conductor. I'm conductor over here in the plus size section. Here we go. We're doing Am I the Assholes? Hayley, do you have a story you want to do? We're going to do backseat foresies. Do you have one that you want to start with?
I do. Yes.
Okay, yes.
All right. So, am I the asshole for begging my girlfriend to uphold a sexist tradition just so she can make a good first impression?
Yes.
We're starting strong.
That's gross.
So gross. All right, so I have a big family that's incredibly close. We have big family dinners every few months where we all meet at my great-grandfather's estate and eat together. Typically how this works is that the women go cook for the time they're there and the men don't, which I am fully aware it's sexist as hell. That being said, I am one of the youngest people in my family and my protests mean literally nothing.
Shoo, you got the spine of a jellyfish over here.
Right? Fucking amoeba. Making Mr. Bones back there look like an absolute legend. For our listeners that aren't watching the video, Sam has a skeleton in her background, and his name is Mr. Bones.
Yes.
Back to the story. Yeah. Some of those women choose not to cook. However, this is usually met with a level of ostracizing. The women who don't cook are live wives, that's a typo, and long-term girlfriends. So they kind of already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I have seen new partners not cook, it's gone bad. Like completely ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness, etc. This dinner will be in 2 weeks, and my girlfriend has asked if she would attend. Initially, she said yes, which is great. I want for her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around. But when I explained to her the tradition, she was understandably bothered. I told her that I understood where she was coming from. However, it was best for everyone if she played along. I told her that this isn't a permanent thing and that I am only asking her to do this so that she can avoid bad treatment from the rest of the family. This is her first impression, and I don't think it's best if we cause waves. She told me that it's unacceptable and that if she has to do that, she will not be going. I've tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else. While my point is that she needs to make a good first impression. Am I the asshole?
Yes, I can't believe
1,000% the asshole. Like, it's like, yeah. Well, I know it's sexist as hell, but like, I've complained before, and nothing happens. So like, let's just go with it. Like, are you kidding me?
Right, like, and I know that like this could be really bad, and my family will ostracize, but like, can't she just play along? Like, yeah. No, there are what?
But they're family.
That's gross. That's gross. It's
really, really gross. Ugh. Like, what if some woman that attended was a objectively horrible cook?
Right.
You know? Like, or what if they just don't like cooking? Shit. Like, it is not that complicated. This person just doesn't want to stand up to their family, which I understand scary. Totally get that. But why are you going to subject an outsider to this kind of insanity?
Right.
And just have them put up with it.
Right. Why does your family do this to begin with? Like, they know. And then it was like, oh, but like the girlfriends of the wives already have a good foot in, so then they finally get to stand up for themselves. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. I would not be with this person.
No. I would either.
No, team breakup. Sorry, bro. Yeah. Team breakup. No.
Absolutely not. I don't know how he thought this was going to go over any better with her.
Right.
I wouldn't want to fucking cook for a bunch of people I don't know. Like, when you're the guest, especially, like, never met them before, like, you're a guest. You're not supposed to be cooking.
Right.
It's weird.
I'm wondering if this is like a cultural thing, and if it is, I feel like that would have to be a conversation different than the way he's presenting it now.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it would be like, hey, this is like a cultural thing with us, so like if you don't want to do it, then like this just isn't the setting where you need to meet them. Right. Where we can like go out to dinner or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. If it was really that sexist to him, he would find an alternative, or wouldn't make this be like the first meeting, or he would go in the kitchen.
Right.
Like, if he really thought it was sexist as hell and he wasn't content with benefiting from it.
Oh, yeah. Preach.
Like, Slay. He's just... Thank you.
Yeah, he's benefiting from it. I wonder how many bodily fluids those people have, like, consumed because the women are cooking. Like, if I was forced... We've all gone out to restaurants. We all know. Like, I worked in a restaurant. Like, when you have an asshole customer...
I worked at a Burger King. We never did anything like this.
The king keeps it tight.
Yeah, he does.
The king keeps it fresh. Have it your way. Fuck our employees. It's nuts. It's crazy. God. No, yeah, he should have. There was a better way to compromise, and their communication is atrocious. So, the minute she said, "No, I'm not doing that," he should have been like, "Okay, then we're not going." Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a totally reasonable way to handle it, is to just not go. Like,
right.
You don't necessarily have to choose violence and say, we're not fucking cooking at great grandfather's house. Like, if you don't want to, you can just not go.
Right. Okay. You're the asshole, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Person, whatever.
I'm assuming buddy because he wasn't cooking.
I'm assuming buddy because he wasn't cooking. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Here we go. So this one is funny. All right. Am I the asshole for demanding my daughter take the bus to school? So let me do it TikTok safe. Am I the a-hole for demanding my daughter take the bus to school? My daughter, 11F, rides the bus to school every morning out of convenience to my wife, 41 female, and I, 43 male. My wife leaves for work around 6 a.m., and my daughter is picked up for the bus at 6:45 a.m. I work from home, and my first conference is usually 8 a.m. Even though I have a big enough time window to take my daughter to school, I insisted that she rode the bus so that she would have her own independence. She made friends on the bus and enjoyed taking it after just a few weeks. Suddenly, though, a boy that rides the same bus started picking on her. In her own words, he called her fat, piggy, ugly whore, etc. The whore is what got me too. I don't know why. I don't know that.
How old is she?
She's 11.
Whore?
Yeah, at 11. You know, kids.
My stars.
Oh, my stars. After she told my wife after she told my wife and I what happened, my wife wanted me to take our daughter to school. I explained that she needs to face bullies instead of finding an easy way out by me taking her. My wife got mad at me and accused me of only wanting to sleep in and not taking it serious enough. I love my daughter and I don't want her to be called names, but I don't think she should have an easy solution that won't require her to make her own decisions. Am I the asshole?
That one honestly is a tough one for me.
Is it?
I thought that this was going to be about the commute, honestly. That whenever he was talking about his first meeting, I'm assuming this was the dad.
Yeah, this is the dad.
Okay. So, I know how my dad would have handled it. That little shithead would have probably gotten yeeted off the bus. Not actually. He would have gotten... My dad probably would have went on the bus.
Yeah.
And been like, look, buddy. You talk to my daughter like that again, I'm going to talk to your parents about it, and we're going to have problems. Like, yes. I don't think that he's necessarily... I think her never riding the bus again is a bit much. And I'm saying that as someone who was bullied on the bus, and I'm not trying to be like, well, I was spanked and I was fine. But like, I see the point that he's making. However, he is still not doing anything. Like, he's still being lazy about it. I think he should not maybe take her to school for a couple days, something like that. But also talk to the kid, talk to the bus driver, and be like, this is not okay. Because he's still responsible for that child. Like, the safety of the child.
Yeah. For me, he's a total fucking asshole, only because he, like, his daughter was like, hey, I'm getting picked on. And his response is like, we'll deal with it. Instead of being like, oh, like you said, like your dad would be like, hey, like, let me talk to this freaking asshole kid. You know what I mean? Like, let's come up with a solution here. Instead, it was like, no, like, you got it, babe. Like, deal with your bullies. I was this chick. I was this kid. I got picked on so brutally that my mom ended up taking me to school.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah. So, like, and it didn't, like, it just was able to, like, I know, I'm, like, the saddest fucking child when it comes to bullies. But, like, my mom would take me to school, and, like, I would still get picked on at school, but it was, like, I was able to, like, have that safe space, you know what I mean, with my parent, and, like, she, when I went to her about it, immediately was like, well, fuck them kids. You don't have to ride the bus. I'll take you. And it, like, made our bond stronger because I knew that she was, like, gonna be there for me. And that's why, to me, this dude's a fucking... I mean, maybe I'm too biased on this story, but, like, you're a fucking asshole, buddy. Like, your kid came to you. You're supposed to be a safe space for your kid. And you're like, ooh. I don't think she should have an easy solution that won't require her to make her own decisions. Like, she made her decision. She asked for help.
Well, honestly, maybe I'm the asshole here too. Because I'm listening to that like, damn. A bitch didn't have a safe space.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, that poor thing, you poor thing.
I know. But like, so my parents, before me and my brother went to school, or like while we were growing up, like, I'm 31. I grew up not in 2023. It's not like physical violence was celebrated, but my parents, my dad especially, was the type. He's probably never going to listen to this, so I can share a little background. When he was a teenager, and he was a teenager in the 70s, he liked to go to bars, sneak into bars, looking for fights. That's the kind of man my dad is. It's, he's a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball.
But he told me and my brother, don't, like, stand up for yourself. Don't take that shit. His way of saying it was box their ears, which, like, timid, gentle giant ass me was not prepared to do anything like that. But that was part of, maybe in hindsight, maybe they should have taken me to school. We lived in the middle of nowhere on a farm, so like I see why that wasn't something that would occur to them. But like, I also think that as much as it's important for a parent to be a safe space for their kid, you do have to learn ways to handle that kind of stuff, because there will be times where you can't just run away from it,
right?
Unfortunately. And being able to stand up for yourself and be like, don't talk to me like that, I think is a really powerful thing to teach a child.
Absolutely. I'm totally like, it's not that he didn't want to take her to school for me, it's that there were no other solutions. Like, there was no communication of like, hey, like, that's where to me he's the biggest asshole. It's like his daughter came to him and was like, hey, this is going on, and he was just like, okay, well, like, deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stand up.
I have an 8 o'clock meeting. I am busy.
You know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh, this shouldn't be happening. Let me talk to the school bus driver. Give me the name of the kid. Let's sit down with the kid. Like, let's open up a dialogue here of like, what the fuck is going on? Instead of just being like, oh, shit happens, that's the way the cookie crumbles, babe. Like, that to me is why he's like the biggest asshole. Like, I get not every parent, when like they don't have the ability that my parent did, and even though like, yes, like it, I didn't have to deal with the bullying on the school bus, like I still eventually had to stand up for myself in person, and had to do all that fun stuff. Like, my mom, I'll give it to my mom, like, she prepared me so well for like the violence of men. Like, your girl was in self-defense classes. Like, I learned, like, 30 different ways to rip a dude's nutsack off.
Sick,
dude. I did not learn how to deal with, like, bullies in, middle school. So it was very much a, like, you're gonna get bullied, but also, like, if they try to touch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so weird. It was the weirdest fucking shit. But that's my problem with this story, is that, his daughter came to him and was like, hey, like, this is what's going on. And instead of being like, oh, let's all sit down and talk about this. I hear you. I can see you're upset. Let's figure out a way to resolve this. It was just like,
totally.
11-year-old boys are gonna 11-year-old boys, like, no,
right.
No.
Yeah. And like, let's be honest, in this day and age, most parents aren't like, yeah, beat his ass. Like, that's not a viable solution. So, not doing anything at all, he's being fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there are a lot of husbands out there that are like that. They don't want to do the heavy lifting and like, come for me if you want, guys. I don't care. You guys are lazy. A lot of you are. There are some that are very evolved and very involved, and then there's others who make kids, but they don't actually want to fucking deal with them.
Right.
And this is one of those dudes.
Yeah. It really
Cancel
is.
me.
This is one of those dudes. I mean, like, statistics are statistics, but
Yeah.
like, I was watching my new hyper focus. My new hyper focus is the Great British Bake Off.
Oh heck yeah.
Oh, it's taken over my life. And like one of the contestants was like a stay-at-home dad, and that was just like everything to me. Like, even though like that's way more common now and stuff, but it, like, the way he was so about his kids, I was like, you're the bar, like, I love you, and like he was just being a normal parent, like, and I was like, yeah, it was so
seriously, I mean, the bar is in hell.
It really is. Like, no, like, even like my dad, like, God rest his soul, like, my mom was 9 months pregnant with me and like ripped her lower belly because she was moving from one trailer to another trailer because she upgraded to that there double wide. That was a big deal in the park. I'm so proud of her. She bought her own trailer. So proud of her. But she had to move her shit. And, like, my dad, nowhere to be found. Like, wife is 9 months pregnant. Yeah, dude, like, love him, but, like, where were you?
Sam's dad?
Yeah.
Come on, bruh.
Come on, bruh. Story of his freaking life, poor dude. But, man, like, I swear to God, on his tombstone, it says, like, where are you at? Like, yeah, I guess that was all my mom would say. Where are you at?
Oh, my God.
Where are you? I'm giving birth, or I've fallen down, or your daughter's born, or, you know, like, the cops are here. Like, where are you?
God damn.
Classy upbringing.
Hey, it happens.
Very posh.
It's real posh, ain't it?
Very posh. Alright, your turn.
One thing real quick. Have you been talking in a British accent because of the Great British Bake Off?
So, I haven't, but I have been, like, looking up their words. So, like, stodgy was a word that we had to look up. Brian loves it when they say they have a soggy bottom. His favorite thing to hear. He's like,
a soggy bottom.
Soggy bottom. Yeah, so that we love the words that they use. They call, like, a normal cake to us, like a normal cake, they call it a sponge. And I don't know why, I'm just like, okay. Like, so I'm trying to learn, like, the different lingo of, like, what they're cooking.
Absolutely.
Biscuits or, like, cookies to us. Like, I don't know. Like, some of their stuff is, you know what I mean? Like, a ginger biscuit. Slang. Yeah.
It's one of the things I love about watching Love Island. Is just, I mean, it gets me talking in an accent, and Jax hates it. But all the slang. Like, crack on, love. I'm like, yeah. We're cracking on.
That's what they say. They're like, you just gotta crack on. I'm like, so now I'm just like, that's gonna be the new, like, manifestation instead of, like, just keep going. It's like, you just gotta crack on.
We're cracking on, brothers.
And I love when they make fun of Americans. That's my favorite. When they talk, like, there was this one contestant, Liam, who, like, now he's a judge for, like, the professionals, and, like, this is how deep into the lore I am.
Shit.
Like, I'm, like, in this world. So, like, he's a judge for the professionals and for the kid show, but he, like, he was, like, making fun of Americans, but, like, he doesn't, like, go on camera and be like, oh, I'm gonna make fun of Americans. He was just, like, to another contestant, he was like, radical, man, so cool.
That's so funny.
It cracked me up. It cracked me up so hard. And, like, we were watching something and they were talking about, like, Americans and, like, burgers and how, like, all we do is, like, eat burgers. And I was like, it's so funny to think, like, how they think we live our lives is, like, just having a burger and a Coke. And, like, the way they, like, make fun of us, I'm like, crack on, you know?
Yeah. That reminds me of this. I feel like there's definitely some sparring between like Americans and British people. I saw a meme a couple days ago, and it was a picture of like a full English breakfast, and the caption was like, British people eat like the Germans are still flying overhead. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't even think the food looked that bad. I'd eat it.
I mean, some of the food that they cook, I mean, it was just like baking, but like, yeah, I would definitely eat it. Absolutely. Some stuff I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
Especially when they have like people that their families, like, they came from India. And I didn't realize like how many people from India actually like move to like England stuff.
Yeah.
They have a high population, and I'm just like, hell yeah. Like, this one dude, he was making like, because we just had Indian food for the first time like last year for me, and so they were making like a curry chicken or whatever, and I was like, pop off.
Absolutely. The food is so good.
So good. I'm into it now. Like, I think I'm on like season 6.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's my fixation. I'm baking off. I already finished the professionals and everything. Like, I'm in it.
Oh, damn.
I'm in deep now. I'm in deep.
Speaking of deep, we are deep in Am I the Asshole? Getting back to
Yeah, we are.
And it's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, am I the asshole, or let me restart. Am I the a-hole for picking my wife up from the airport 10 minutes late? So, this one, I'm just going to preface it. I am surprised the way they voted, but here's what happened. My wife was due to fly in to one of the most popular airports in the world last night around 9 p.m. Her landing time was 8:50 p.m., no checked luggage, so I told her I'd be there at 9. At about 8:05, she apparently started calling my phone, but unfortunately I didn't see or hear the calls until 8:15. This is because, like her, I keep my phone with a little silence switch on at all times so that it just vibrates. I didn't hear the vibration because I had my gaming headset on and was gaming and talking with my friends. Keep in mind, I wasn't expecting any calls from her until after she landed. When I finally realized she was calling me, I looked at my phone by chance. I picked up and she told me that her plane had landed early. In this airport, unheard of. And she told me to leave now. I just said, okay, I'll see you soon, and hung up. This is where the AITA comes in. I thought it was fine to finish my online match and left the house 10 minutes later. I drove to the airport and there was a ton of traffic, as usual and as expected, and I didn't pull up to where her and her friend were waiting until about 9:05. As fate would have it, it was pretty much the original time we had planned on picking her up. To make a long story somewhat shorter, my wife sprung the fact that we had to bring her friend home as well, which I was fine with. They lived a few minutes away. And everything was fine until after we dropped the friend off. Then my wife showed me how upset she was that I made her wait an extra 10 minutes, and that there was a huge difference between waiting 30 minutes and waiting 40 minutes. At first, I kind of laughed it off and tried not to be upset back at her, but inside I was thinking, hello, I'm doing you a favor by driving to the airport and picking you up in the first place. Why are you getting upset over waiting 10 minutes longer than you wanted when sometimes people wait hours to be picked up at the airport?
Ew, it's the tone. It's not what he's saying, it's how they're saying it.
We're still... Sorry, I was getting a little cotton mouth. We're still in this. Eventually, we had a little back and forth about it, but I was just sick of arguing over something so small to me. And I wanted to just agree to disagree, and my wife was also sick of talking to me if I wasn't going to apologize, so I went to sleep. Am I the asshole? I feel like this isn't an apology-worthy event. You can't just land almost an hour early and expect your driver, even if they're your husband, to drop everything they're doing and come pick you up immediately, right? Edit 1. I was not aware of the fact that you could track arrival times of flights after they left their departing location. That's my bad. I will do better in the future. Also, someone said I'm an a-hole for not missing my wife. She was gone for one night. I did not miss her in the true sense of the word, LOL. Edit 2. I literally just showed my wife some of the responses here, and she had the exact She had the exact response I thought she would, because she's my wife. She laughed. Someone really thought their response to me saying that I didn't miss my wife was clever when they said, show her this one too. Well, I did, and she laughed. We're adults in our 30s, and we've been together for almost a decade. A night apart isn't shit.
Ew, this dude sucks.
Yes. So, the collective opinion was asshole. I feel like it's a slight everybody sucks here.
I feel like everybody kind of sucks, but I kind of feel like he sucks more.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she called him and was like, yo, I landed early, leave then, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, excuse my, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's, okay. That was kind of heated. Sorry. I'm in
That's
pain
okay.
with my wisdom. I'm in pain because my wisdom teeth. But, like, leave then.
Yeah.
Leave right then.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, I mean, honestly, it's like he could have just left then, but at the same time, it's not like he left 30 minutes later.
Right.
It was only 10 minutes. Like, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes. Like, I think if I landed an hour early, I would assume that I would still be waiting. But at the same time, like, biggest airport in the world, that is really stressful. I'm assuming it's probably something like LAX or something wild.
Well, I thought Atlanta was the busiest.
Is it?
I think so. And, like...
Okay. That would be stressful.
I just, when I went on my trip, so, like, Brian... Husband flex. He got there, like, 30 minutes before I landed.
Yeah.
Just because he knew how stressed out I was going to be. I did have a check bag. And, like, I waited maybe 2 minutes for him. And he pulled up because he knew that I was anxious and I wanted him to be there. Like, I thought the rule of thumb was, like, you met them at the gate. Like, I thought Friends taught us this.
Mm-hmm.
That
well, that 9/11 changed everything.
Oh, right. But, like, I feel like you meet them. Like, you track their flight, right?
Yeah.
And you meet them there. And, like, who doesn't use the Wi-Fi on the plane? Like, I was messaging him while I was in the air. Like...
Yeah. Oh, I mean, same.
Like, right?
Jax would have done the same thing. Like, he would have done the same thing as Brian. He is such a planner. He's so type A. He absolutely would have been there half an hour early and just waited. But also, if he hadn't, or I landed even earlier, of course I'd wait. What the fuck else am I going to do?
Right. I mean, it's, I feel like her... Yeah, I just feel like everybody sucks. But I also feel like when she was like, yo, I'm upset I had to wait, him being like, all right, I understand why you're upset. My bad.
Yeah.
And like that would have been the end of it, right?
Right. Just be like, hey man, sorry. I won't do that again.
I think it was the part where he was like, he said like that he was her ride or whatever. I don't know if he said like she's lucky he was there or however he worded it. I didn't fucking like that.
Yeah, like I'm doing you a favor. Like, yeah. Like, you've been together a decade. That is what you do.
What?
Like, you support someone going through surgery, you pick them up at the fucking airport. Like, that's just shit that you do.
That's just shit you do. That's just what you do. Absolutely, yeah. Everybody kind of sucks, but he sucks more.
Yeah.
He sucks more. Okay. So this one, I don't know why. I guess my inner child picked these. Because this one I also have like a little inner child story about. All right. Am I the a-hole for forcing my daughter to waste food? Sorry. For forcing my daughter to waste food.
Okay. So that's the accusation, not their own words. Okay.
Yes. This is stupid, but the daughter in question told me to post here to prove her right. So I guess we'll see whose side the internet strangers are on. I'll keep this short. My family
starting strong.
Not starting strong. My family had steak tonight for dinner. There was a large piece of pure fat on one side of the steaks, which I cut off to throw away. My daughter, 16, told me not to throw it out and that she wanted to eat it. I cut her off a small slice of the fat and gave it to her, but she insisted I give her the whole thing. It was a huge piece of fat, which would be super unhealthy to eat. I told her no, she didn't need a slice of fat half the size of her entire steak, and said that that would be ridiculous. She got upset that I forced her to waste food she wanted. I see part of my responsibility as the parent to keep my children at least relatively healthy and not feed them pure beef fat just because they want it. Am I the asshole for throwing it away? Edit. It was on my plate. I didn't take it from her. My daughter is overweight. I didn't want to originally put this in the post, but commenters keep telling me to, so I will. She is gaining weight and has been. Her diet isn't healthy because she buys herself snacks and fast food, often with her own money. So how do you feel about this?
Oh boy. Man, you went right for the jugular of our inner children.
I really did. So triggered when I read this.
I feel like they're the asshole. This wedge of fat, and I'm saying this as someone like me and my little brother, we used to fight over who got the fat. We both loved it.
Yeah.
Like,
same.
And I was obviously fat. My brother was not. So like, it wasn't like a weight thing, but like, what's the big damn deal? If this is like 3 times a day, yeah, you can throw it out every now and then, but like, this is not, one wedge of beef fat is not going to make her gain like 1,000,000 pounds. It wouldn't even make her gain 1.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I feel like there's a history of don't waste food in the home because she's upset that he made her waste food she wanted.
Yeah.
Part of my disordered eating is because I grew up in the same type of household.
Yeah, like clean up your plate.
Clean your plate.
Yeah, same.
To the point now where even if I'm full, I mean, I'm getting better now because I'm consciously aware. I'm more in my body when I'm eating. But it used to be I would clean my plate even if I was full as an adult because of my upbringing. It was so bad that Brian would actually have to be like, hey, babe, if you're full, you don't have to finish that. Because he would see me like playing with it and like trying to like let it digest to where I would eat more, or that he would see like I would always like clean my plate and like wipe it clean with my napkin. So that way, because like you couldn't have like food in the dishwasher, like active childhood trauma that is just like so subconscious to me that it was like to the point where I'm like, okay, when I was reading this story, I was like, where did she get that from? Your daughter.
You're right.
Yeah, I can guarantee you this has been a family where, I mean, I'm assuming, but from my perspective reading this, it's like, all right, if she's upset that, because he literally says she got upset that I forced her to waste food she wanted. And those words are just very specific. So I feel like she was taught not to waste food.
Yeah.
And this is where this is stemming from, is like she wanted that. And you didn't want to give it to her because you decided at that point that you were going to take control of her diet and you were going to, like, you weren't going to give it to her. So she's upset because it doesn't matter that it's on your plate or whether it's on her plate or not. Like, you're wasting food and that in her mind is a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And also, I'm sure the feeling of rather wasting the food than give it to her. Like, that also probably hurt. What I noticed, what stuck out to me, because I grew up in a similar family. You know, clean your plate. Just like we talked about in the last episode, my mom kept a very close eye on the stuff that I ate at home. Buying snacks and buying fast food with her own money, that to me feels like it's like the very light version of when I went to college.
Yeah.
And I had no rules. And I ate fast food multiple times a day because I could and because I liked it. Like the overcorrection from not being able to eat the things that you want or being taught about moderation.
Yes.
Like, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with teaching your kids how to make choices and eat foods in moderation and stuff like that. But it's really clear that that's not what's being taught.
Yeah.
And his kid has a fucked up relationship with food now.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. She has a fucked up relationship with food. She doesn't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she's doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Poor kid.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, that I just blew it to the mic. Okay. Yeah. You got it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
Your turn.
It's okay. Let's see. Okay. Actually, I think I want to do this one instead. Okay. So, am I the a-hole, 22F, for choosing to take meds that my BF, 27M, is allergic to? This one's interesting. Over the past few weeks, I have been quite sick. Yesterday morning, I woke both my BF, Jake, and myself up with a coughing fit, so I decided to go to the doctor's that morning. The doctor said that there was some inflammation in my throat, so he prescribed me with penicillin over the next few days. I had no problem with taking this, but I did know that Jake is allergic to penicillin. Once I got my meds, I called him to tell him where I would keep it so that he can stay away from it. He told me that it couldn't be in the apartment and I can't take it around him because he was deathly allergic to it. He said I should get rid of it and take pain meds to get better on my own instead. I suggested that I could go stay at my parents' house for the next few days whilst I'm taking my meds. He said that we'd talk about it when he got home, but until then I either needed to get rid of them or leave them in my car without taking them. But I didn't want to wait 7 hours for him to come home before taking them. I decided to just go to my parents' house because I wanted to take them, and I'd probably end up going there later after we talked. When I got to my parents', I stayed in bed for the rest of the day and fell asleep at some point. I woke up around 5 a.m. to loads of calls and texts from Jake and some mutual friends asking where I was. I waited a while before calling Jake back, and he asked where I was, and when I answered, he angrily told me that it was disrespectful of me to leave without waiting for him to discuss this, and that I was making a big situation by ignoring his calls last night. I tried to explain to him that I wasn't ignoring him, that I'm sick and I had fallen asleep at my parents', and that I didn't think it would be a big deal because I had already suggested it on the phone to him yesterday. He said that he didn't remember me telling him this and that he was calling friends all night last night, asking if they knew where I was, and that it was suspicious that I had been distant with him for the past few weeks just to disappear last night. I may be the a-hole for this part, but I told him that it's not my fault that he didn't remember me telling him this, and that he knew I had been feeling unwell over the past few weeks, which explains why I was distant. I then said that he was the one being ridiculous, as there was no way that having penicillin in the same apartment with him would even cause any problems if he stayed away from it. After this, he said that I was being the a-hole for belittling him and not taking his allergies seriously. He then told me to just stay at my parents' for the next while until he's ready to talk again before hanging up, and he's not answered any of my calls since. As I've been stuck in bed thinking about it, part of me feels like I just might have been too stubborn and I could have avoided all of this by waiting the couple of hours or trying to get better without the antibiotics. Am I the asshole?
Oh my god, no. Oh my god, you're in an abusive relationship, baby. You gotta get out. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta get out. You're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
Also, he's stupid. You can't, like, it's, you have to eat penicillin to have a reaction to it if you're allergic.
And
Or, like,
just take,
ingest it. It's not like it's peanuts.
right, but like just take pain pills. Do
Yeah,
you
it
know
doesn't
what
even work.
antibiotics are? Like, are you aware of
Yeah.
the difference between an
Right.
antibiotic and a pain pill? What are you talking
Amoxicillin or
about?
oxy? Same thing, right? Like, you fucking ding dong.
Oh my god. This dude is like girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep. Like, what the hell is happening?
I don't remember you saying that. My fucking ass.
Oh
Please.
my, yeah. Fucking gaslight, and then fucking stonewall. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
Classic abuse techniques, babe. I don't know how old this post is, but you need to get out of this relationship. The fact that you literally said, like, I'm sick. I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna fall asleep. You're sick.
Yeah. And, like, it's one thing to be worried. Like,
right.
that, I feel like if I were in the boyfriend's shoes and I came home and my husband wasn't there, I would be worried.
Right.
But once I got in touch with him and he was like, oh, sorry, I'm sick. I was asleep. Okay. Makes sense.
Why wouldn't he he knew exactly where she was. You know why? Because he didn't call the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He called all of the friends to, like, start a smear campaign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dangerous.
Get out. Ass. Of course you're not the asshole. This dude's the asshole. You need to get out.
You scary asshole.
Scary. Fuck him. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I think this is going to be the last one. And I think this is kind of controversial.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Because I think when it comes to vegans, it can be controversial.
Yeah, right. You're getting in dangerous territory here, pal.
I know. All right. Would I be the a-hole if I brought my own food to a vegan dinner party? All right.
Listening.
So I've been invited to a vegan household for a dinner party. Of the total people going, 6 out of 9 are vegans. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Let me start over. So I've been invited to a vegan household for a dinner party. Out of the total people going, 6 out of 9 aren't vegans. Anytime a meal is hosted elsewhere, we have 2 meals. One vegan and one not. So everyone can enjoy what they like. Not here, though. This is a strictly vegan household. No cooking meat products on the barbecue, no cheese, no eggs, no fish. I get not wanting to cook meat on their barbecue. I have an entire section of my grill sectioned off for vegan/gluten-free cooking. I found out what they are making for everyone. I'm allergic to mushrooms, and they know it. And their main course is a portobello steak. It feels on purpose. I know, right? I don't know. I would feel disrespected as a host if a guest brought their own food to my dinner party. Then again, I try really hard to make sure everyone has options for them at mine. So would I be the a-hole if I brought a George Foreman and some burgers to cook up outside?
No. But not... That one's tough. Like, I was fully, you're not the asshole until he was going to cook it there.
Yeah, same.
Like, to me, it's more offensive that they're preparing something they know OP is allergic to.
Right.
As the main course and not offering anything else or just cooking something else. I can understand to an extent why they wouldn't want to handle meat and cook it in their own house. Like, that's fine. But maybe recruit someone else to cook the meat and bring it in. put it far away from the vegan food.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Everyone sucks here for me. Everybody sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks. Like, I was on board, you know, until the George Foreman thing. And I think that, like, I don't know if that was just like, ha ha ha, like I'm being snarky, but I don't think it's I don't think you're an asshole for wanting to bring food that you can consume. Because if the roles were reversed, a vegan would not be an asshole and is not seen as an asshole when they bring vegan options for themselves, right? Because I feel like it comes across as like, I don't expect people to make vegan options for me. So I am bringing my own so I can participate within the group, right? I can have the same experience as everybody else. So here it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I don't think he's an asshole for bringing a meal that he is not allergic to consume. That way he can be a part of the group and have the same experience. Right. So I think
if this was an issue of gluten, it would be the same thing.
It would be the same thing. It would be the same thing. So they suck for cooking something that they know he's actively, like, literally allergic to. Yeah. Like, that sucks. And then he sucks for, like, the George Foreman thing. But I was like, this is a cute little, like, experiment one. Like, I you know, I don't know if our listeners, I think that's going to be the poll. Like, let us know if you think this guy's the asshole and if you agree with our takes on it.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's a good poll. Yeah. I mean, I know, you know, people have the right to whatever dietary restrictions. People have the right to eat however they want. They don't have the right to make someone else eat how they want if the person doesn't want to, especially an allergy. Like, that one, Jax is allergic to mushrooms. And
really?
Yeah, he gets very, very ill. And prior to us being together, I was a mushroom mama. I fucking love portobello mushrooms. I made them like weekly.
They're so good.
They are. I eat them way less now, but I wouldn't ever make him eat mushrooms. Right. Like, that's ridiculous. I can't.
Is he allergic to all mushrooms? Oh no.
Yeah, all mushrooms.
You like, I'm like, I'm saying it without saying it, you know? Oh no, poor guy. All right, well, I think these were some good stories. I think we found some good ones. We went faster through them too, so yeah, that's good. I'm proud of us. Yeah. So let us know if you want us to do more Am I the Assholes? I think we found some really good ones. And the next
we'll be doing more, but we want them to be okay with it too.
Yes, we want you guys to like what we're putting out. I said in the last one that we're going to have some guests on. We're super excited. Next upcoming episodes are going to be my intentional weight loss, fat bodies in the media, our ADHD experiences. So we're popping off. We are.
Hell yeah.
I don't have anything else coming. Right? I don't have anything else to add, do you?
No. You covered it, man.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.
Bye, y'all.